What's up, everybody? The market has been dropping. Is this a signal? Is this the buy point? Is this where we look to make life-changing money? We are looking at these charts right here in just a second. So everybody, as you tune in right now, drop a 1 in chat if you're alive. Drop a 2 in chat if you are grateful. Drop a 3 in chat if you're ready for this market to pump. We got some charts to go over. I'm going to quell some of your fears because there's some absolutely incredible bullishness we're going to get into right now. So everybody, hit the like button. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. My name's Kelly Kellum with the BitLab Academy. We got some charts to cover today. We got some data to break down. Got the news covered over there on Discover Crypto, so we might just poke at that for a second. Make sure you hit that like button, you hit that subscribe button, and ding the bell. We got some things we got to jump into right now, so let's just get right on into it. Altcoin market. Oh my God, we had this rising wedge in the breakdown. It's over. Everything's going to no, it's not. Let's get down here on the 1 hour chart and we can see that we got pretty big move to the upside here. A little double bottom here and the price action pushing to the upside. And now a little bit of a, basically sell off consolidation right in this zone. Are we going to hold here? We're going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin also in this very large, let's get actually out to the 8 hour, and this very large consolidation here. There's a number of different ways we can draw it with the inverted head and shoulders, also with a little bit more detail here, coming down to that level that we had outlined almost 3 weeks ago now. Back when price was up in here, we see the price coming down into this zone. Are we going to drop down here? What does it mean if we do? And also, what are some of those setups that are out there in the altcoin market? Everybody, if you are here, I love you. I appreciate you. And I want you to win. That's what this channel is all about. This channel is about tools, resources, and unbiased looks at what's going on in the market, helping walk you through how to make smart decisions and navigate this space in a meaningful way so that we can make some damn money. That's what this is about. So let's go ahead and dive on into it. Let's go ahead and jump right here, actually. Let's see what is going on. We got the market still sitting here under 2.4 trillion. I do believe that this is going to be pushing up to that $5 to $7 trillion mark in this bull market, likely potentially even higher than that. But let's be a little bit more conservative. Let's say 5 trillion. That would still be a massive move to the upside from here. If we get an explosive super cycle and the market just absolutely rips and rips and rips much higher, then it's going to be all good. It's going to be all good because we have our strategy in place. That's what this is about. We got 138 people in the room right now. I want every single one of you to make sure that you hit that like button. Let YouTube know you like this content. Let YouTube know that you are ready to make sure that you have the right data about what's going on here, because we got some big things happening right here. If you're feeling like this, take it as an indication that there are areas in your investing and trading strategy that can be improved, and it starts with your mindset and your time horizon. I do not know if the audio is going to work on this because I just changed my whole system. Let's see. Let me know if you guys can hear that. I don't know if you can. He's basically saying, oh, no. This is what some people are feeling like right now. Some people are feeling like, oh my God, this is dropping. What happened? This is over. Why did I get in? Do not question yourself right now. Look to the data on the chart. Look to the repetitive nature of this bull market. Look to the fact that all we're doing is consolidating in this previous all-time high region right in here, just like we're doing right. We can actually draw this up. Let's just like this. Look at where we're consolidating right in that zone. So things are not nearly as bad as they seem. And in addition to that, I do think that Bitcoin and crypto crash, it is not any such thing. This is just like Crypto Chronic says right here, just build your bags. That's what this is about right now. We need to make sure we're doing smart things in this market, not emotional things in this market, because this is a buyer's dream setup, and we're going to go over some of the data as to why and how we can see that and also navigate this. We also saw yesterday incredible bullish news. You may have seen this on every other channel and on every other Twitter, but there's some people that maybe only watch this show. So you got to realize that this is a very big thing, that Ethereum survives the SEC. Today, we're happy to announce a major win for Ethereum developers, technology providers, and industry participants. The enforcement division of the SEC has notified us that it is closing its investigation into Ethereum 2.0. Why does this matter? Well, how come the market hasn't absolutely moved? We had a small move to the upside. And Jeffrey Reed right here says, I'm just waiting for it to take off. That's what we need to do right now. Wait patiently, pick your shots, buy those dips, have a long-term time horizon. Right now in this consolidation section, we're just letting the market do what it does. But the reason why this story with the Ethereum ETF, with the Ethereum and the SEC, basically enforcement by, regulation by enforcement basically getting shut down, the SEC sort of withdrawing. Remember, we just had some of the absolute records broken with the Bitcoin spot ETF getting launched. And now the Ethereum spot ETF got approved, and it's slated to go live for trading somewhere around July 2nd. And in order to do that and also make sure that corporations and institutions and smart money wants to participate, they have to basically stop all this nonsense about not identifying whether this is a security or not. Now, in this case, because they have dropped this enforcement action regarding it being a security right here, this means SEC will not bring charges alleging that the sales of ETH are securities. This opens up the psychological floodgates before the actual capital floodgates get set free here on July 2nd or whenever the actual ETH ETF starts to trade. It needs to have some clear distinction about what it is and how it fits into the market. This is incredibly bullish, and this not only paves the way for Ethereum, but also for all those other smart contract L1s and L2s like Avalanche and Solana and Cardano. And there's the list goes on and on and on. Injective and Near Protocol. This is some of those steps that need to be taken. If you consider some of the things that have happened in the last year regarding not only the strides forward that Bitcoin has seen and crypto has seen and the regulatory front, but also the type of players that are involved now. I could tell you firsthand, being at Consensus this year in Austin, there's an entirely different composition of the demographic of the people that were there. There was, yes, a lot of the same old crypto folks that were there, but there was a whole lot more middle-aged and senior management type of VCs and CFOs and CEOs and institutional type people coming over from the TradFi space that are starting to realize what is here in the crypto ecosystem, building in it. I don't even just mean investors. I mean the type of people that are building on the blockchain narrative is absolutely astounding. So right now, astounding. So right now, everybody, make sure you smash the likes, guys and gals. Let's get back into it. We got so many great charts, so many things to cover today. And I just want to say how grateful I am that all of us can be here early in this ecosystem. It's for ETH2, not ETH 1.0, sure, but this has to do a lot to do with the rollover from Ethereum, proof of, basically rolling over to proof of stake. And now, essentially what the backbone of the Ethereum ecosystem is built on, I think there's going to be less and less likelihood that the SEC is really going to take enforcement action unless we don't get an administration change. But we can also see this, Bitcoin ETFs to be approved at major wirehouses and large private bank platforms Q2, Q3 this year. So more access, more open channels to banks and large players and retail to have access through the traditional means through which they get other financial products. This is incredibly bullish. We also saw the data yesterday that they're also launching an ETH and Bitcoin paired ETF. So you can buy that ETF with exposure that is, I think, somewhat amalgamated and structured around what the different size market caps are. Though, the percentage basis of when you buy this ETF, then it represents this much exposure to Bitcoin, this much exposure to Ethereum ETF. This is some of the things we're seeing right now is just the foundation for the true capital channels that are coming in. I am so bullish right now. So when we see price action coming up in here and basically consolidating sideways, and we can see this basically parallel channel. Look at this. We're sitting here on the upper bound still. You see this parallel channel? This is bullish. When you see, even though it's trading to the downside, these channels, when price is trading to the downside like this, tend to break bullish. And even more so, I think this is called a high and tight. When you see the price action come down all the way down here, actually had a deviation below. Deviation, meaning the price action went beyond the bounds, right? Came back in. But now, as we pushed up, we double topped in here, and we're currently still holding above that 50% line on this parallel channel. If we lose this, it's not over. It just means it's less bullish than it was before we lost this. As it stands right now, things are looking incredible for this market. Now, I got some other data we're going to be showing on this chart here in a little bit, so let's continue on through this. We can also see this morning, the government of Javier Milei announced that it will apply Nayib Bukele from El Salvador, Nayib Bukele's method in Argentina to combat criminals and narco-terrorists. Well, they're also, I think, at some point very soon, going to be taking that playbook from Nayib Bukele, as we're going to see the dominoes fall over across the world regarding taking that Bitcoin standard into their economy, especially these second and third world areas that are tired of having the thumb of the IMF and the world central banks holding them down, keeping them basically slave to the debt that they have by those foreign or outside entities. This is all incredibly bullish. Then we can see here, that's already, so right here, national debt will exceed 50 trillion by 2034, budget watchdog estimates. Jordan Peterson, massive, whether you like him or not, massive account, massive social figure, basically grown in the last several years. That's already basically where we're at right now. It's already $100,000 for every man, woman, and child in the U.S. Looks like it's time to buy more Bitcoin. Thought leaders speaking about buying more Bitcoin. The president and the different political parties out there debating on where they stand on this. And we're seeing it, more on the right is very pro Bitcoin, but the fact of the matter is this is talked about every day. And then we can see right here, Bitcoin is basically less volatile than JP Morgan. And everybody says Bitcoin is the thing that you need to be worried about because of volatility. For those of us that know how these markets work, let's be honest, half the reason why we're in the market is because of the volatility. You have to realize that. You're in the market because we have the potential for explosive gains over time and actually the disproportionate growth versus the devaluation that we can see in the US dollar if we're saving in that regard. So this is very bullish. It also speaks to a little bit of the shakeup that we're seeing in the traditional finance world. Now, let's actually close some of these. Boom, boom. All right. Now, this is where we're getting into the TA. This is where we're getting into a little bit more data. Where's price going? What does the market say? What does the data say? Everybody, if you want to see more of this type of content, make sure you throw a 1 in chat. If you want me to just sit here and talk about my feelings and drink a glass of milk, throw a 2 in chat. But we're here to talk about markets, right? I'll uplift you. I'll try to be empowering and encouraging, but we got to look at the data here. No money for markets right now, a lot of people say. That's why crypto's pulling back. Wrong. This is a chart that I shared yesterday. S&P 500 is breaking to new highs as Bitcoin is seeing downward price action as the directionality of risk is up right now, not down. We see risk going into the market. How do we know that? Because we see that the dollar hasn't been performing as well, also pulling back a little bit. And we also see the S&P 500 continually breaking to new highs. And we can see why the crypto drop. Well, First off, let's look at this massive bullish divergence where the markets are pushing up while Bitcoin is performing flat right in here. Well, the post-halving squeeze, the lack of profitability, the profitability of miners cut in half, the post-halving profit squeeze forcing inefficient miners to shut off, providing sell pressure. As they shut off, where's their revenue come from? They can sell some of the holdings they have. And consolidation at previous all-time high, weak hand shakeout. This is what we're talking about. Previous all-time high, weak hand just shaking out, consolidating at this level. Same thing we saw right in here. Now, as seen in the second chart, in this thread, buy signal loading that has averaged over 120% upside price action when it flips. And that is this chart right here. What do we see? Bitcoin. God dang it. We see right here, Bitcoin hash ribbon showing miners buying, miners bringing pressure to market. In this case, it's sell pressure. When this flips back to buy, Bitcoin has historically seen massive upside when this signal flashes buy. So we could prepare for it. What are we seeing here? This is when the hash ribbon collapses. When miners are shutting off is what you're seeing. When miners shut off, this flips red. And it tends, especially in bull markets also, but it can lead to sell pressure and downward price action. So this was a bear market. That's why I did not do a measurement here, because we're talking about bullish trend. In this case, we saw 52.8% up when this flipped buy. We see the next buy right here. This, I didn't even go all the way to this high. I was trying to be conservative here. From this point to this high, 257%. From this point where this flipped buy to the high, 81.17%, again, 66%, again, 149%, 121% average to the upside once this signal flips to buy. Now, do we just wait on that? You can. Never hurts to be conservative, but you have to remember to take profits along the way. If you want to take those bold steps like smart money does, buying in this region or buying in this region or buying in this region, or seeing this dip, buying this, not being scared because of the ETF. This not only has all these signals lining up for, look at this, already flipped a little bit back green. That's not the buy signal. The buy signal is when it flips back green and we see that entire hash ribbon flip back positive. If you zoom in on it, you'd be able to see what I was talking about. But we're consolidating at this level with an inverted head and shoulder in addition to all this other bullishness. The target out of this is about $91,000 to $93,000. That's not the ultimate high. That's just a target from this inverted head and shoulder breakout, the measurement of this neckline, aka the level from which we keep rejecting at. The measurement from there to the deepness, the depth of this head, the deepest point, you basically drag that bar right over here, you get the target at $93,000. I am bullish as hell right now. Do we need to be a little patient? Yes, we do. Why do we need to be patient? Because if we come over here, this is how the market works. I have the photo right here. This is how the market works. People are going to tell you that you're lucky in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Why? Because they're going to see the endpoint of the wealth that you've created in your life. However, if you endured multiple years through this cycle, this is how you feel emotionally until you build a strong strategy, but feeling those 30%, 50%, 80% pullbacks along the way. And that's going to diminish over time. It's going to get easier, but along with it getting easier, you also have less opportunity for upside. The earlier you get in, the more bruises you're going to take along the way. That's why we also shared, where's it at? Somewhere in here. I post so many This is where it gets right here. Risk provides you much more upside. However, in order to have much more upside, you have to practice healthy risk management. So there's a counterintuitive ploy there. There's a counterintuitive necessity for you to take risk to become rich. But in order to become risk, you have to practice when and where to take that risk and how to hedge your bets and how to protect yourself along the way. Because make no lie, if you can get in this market early and you have the endurance to hold, you are going to take some bruises along the way. You're going to have some issues throughout all this. But this is what we're waiting on. We're still in the middle of this cycle right here. It's about a 2.5 year cycle, and we're only about halfway through. And we're seeing a flood of new access points for capital coming in the market. So what are we worried about at the moment? Shout out to Alexander G in the house, always doing all the time codes here on BitLab Academy live streams. Big love to you. I appreciate you so much. So shout out to Jeanette too in the chat. Sack Nasty. We got so many OGs here in the room. Big love to Granny's Garden. Jeffrey Red. We got so many people in here. Man and Meta. Big love to each and every one. Let's continue on here. We got a lot to cover. Now, Bitcoin retail confusion, but data shows what? Many analysts are puzzled by Bitcoin current situation. Let's break it down. Firstly, Bitcoin's price made an early new high this cycle, surpassing previous peaks ahead of the anticipated halving. Remember, the previous cycles, we've gotten to the previous all-time high and broken through weeks and weeks after the halving, not before like we did this time. So we got to realize we still are a little bit ahead of schedule when we think about it that way. Firstly, Bitcoin's price made an early new high this cycle, surpassing previous peaks ahead of anticipated halving cycle, primarily driven by institutional demand. And there's, I think, a growing awareness about how this market works. Yeah. Granny's Garden says, hey, Kelly, you're a good man. I appreciate it. All of you are, you give me fuel for the fire. You uplift me. It's a pleasure to do this and be a part of this community with you all. I really do appreciate each and everybody that's here. For that, everybody, make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribe button, and dinging that bell, because we got a lot more stuff to be covering here on a daily basis. I'm going to keep you in the know. Now, with all that being said, we can also see that at first glance, this appears promising. Bitcoin transactions also surged earlier this year, hitting new highs amid the hype surrounding ordinals and runes. We can see this right here, this increase in transactions. Now we can also see institutional whales are present and activity on Bitcoin network is high. So where's the confusion? The data reveals that this surge in usage and whale activity does not involve this significant influx of new participants. This is what we've been talking about. What we've been talking about here is the fact that this market has gotten to this price level without any real new players. Yes, there are some new real players in the Bitcoin spot ETF realm. Notably that 970 or 990 institutions that aped into Bitcoin spot ETFs in the first quarter. But in regards of the broader, when you look at it on a percentage basis, 85 to 90% or more, I would argue, of people that are watching this channel right now, people that are buying crypto, people that are holding crypto, people that are just paying attention in this market, the engagement is primarily people that have been here for 6 months or more. A lot of you, a year and a half or more. I don't mean specifically on BitLab Academy. I mean in the crypto market. I want everybody in the chat right now. Let's see. We got to coordinate. We got to talk. We got to get our data and our understanding of this market locked down so that we don't get trapped emotionally. If everybody in the chat right now, type in what your born on date is, the first time you made a purchase, month and year, and also what city or country you're. If you're in the US, what city? If you're in another country, you can do city and country. I want to see when y'all's born on dates were. Everybody, if you've done this before here on the channel, let's do it again right now. What was your born on date and what city you're in? We can start to gauge and see the awareness levels in different areas, right? Because the majority of people here, it's reflected in the data that we're seeing in these charts. The majority of people buying, it's all people that have been here. So what we really want to pay attention to is the fact that the price is so, it feels high, but the price is doing so beautifully at this level. Come back over to this chart right here, consolidating at previous highs. We got all the way, you guys realize market's not doing anything. We're just being impatient as we can be, because let's do it from this point where the bull market, started. Breakout, that's not the start of the bull market. The test here with the higher low and really the break of this, but we'll do it from right here. What level have we moved up? 268%. And the parabola hasn't even truly started yet. So let's see this. Let's head back over to this really quick. We got September 2022, 10B. We got Los Angeles. Alexander G says January 2021. Colorado 2018. March 2020. Connecticut 1987. You're the earliest crypto buyer ever. That's funny. I was born in a storm on the 4th of July in a year that's since been forgotten, says storming the castle. But this is the point. Newport Beach, October 2020. Denver 2016. None of those people that identified was 2023 or later. Did you notice that? It's all the same people in this market. Yes, we're seeing institutions flood in, but this is one of the reasons why when we're looking at this market, and yes, we got a little bit of a move to the upside with the total 3 yesterday. Let's get down to the 2-hour, double click here to make it auto. We can see right in here, we got the move up, but why is this not moving? This was a lot of the hope, but then, altcoins almost always drop more than Bitcoin when Bitcoin pulls back. It's a de-risking. It's a hedging of the fear. It's also smaller market caps, easier to move around. But the fact that this hasn't ripped to the upside and these alts haven't really gotten that move that everybody's been talking about is also notably because we don't have any new people coming into the market. Once we start getting that flood in, you have to realize the majority of people when they enter this space, they don't realize that you don't have to buy one whole Bitcoin. To us watching right now, maybe 1 or 2 of you might know this, but the majority of you would know this. We can buy any fraction of a Bitcoin, but people coming from traditional assets, and we're also going to see a flood of people that have never invested anywhere. But the majority of people out there don't know anything about Bitcoin. They don't know you can buy fractionally $10 worth, $5 worth, $1,000 worth. You don't need to get an entire Bitcoin. But people also see price. And some of you here right now also do this. You look at the charts. You look at this right here and you see, oh man, Bitcoin's 64. Let's find something less expensive. Cardano's 38 cents. Or let's see. Pepe's. Look how cheap this is. There are many, I would argue the majority of people in the crypto ecosystem do not understand the nature of the market cap and the circulating supply. These two things are what determine this price here. So this being 73 and Litecoin only being 4 doesn't mean Near is a better investment, because you can see this has 74 million. And the market cap is 5.5 billion. You divide this by this, that is how you get the $7 billion. Do not look at the price of an asset and say that's cheaper. I'm going to buy this at $4. And I love Near. Let's actually go to another one. I can hate on something else because it's not that. Mantle, okay? Do not think you're going to buy this. If I buy this and this goes up to 70,000 like Bitcoin, well, this has almost 3.3 billion tokens. 3.3 billion. Let's go ahead and do the math on that really quick. Let's go over here. 3.3 billion times 65,000. What is that? If we can't even see the whole thing here. 2 quadrillion, something like that. 2.14. I don't even know. It's such a large number. That would be essentially what the market cap would be. It doesn't work that way. So we all need to realize that when we're looking at this data, where is the chart? When we're looking at this data and we see that basically does not involve a significant influx of new participants. And we have new whales that are going to come in. We have new big money, as Gary Cardone points out regularly in the conversations we've had. I've had him on the show, as I talked to him in person quite a bit. There's 400,000 ultra wealthy people out there. 400,000 means 400,000 ultra wealthy people with $50 million or more. There's like 65 or 68 million millionaires in the world, and there's only 21 million Bitcoin. We're seeing that flood start now, but essentially what we're looking at is a gap, a little crack in the edge of a dam. And the whales that are involved now are the few that have kind of like, they've broken through that barrier. But as more and more pile through, essentially what you see is, let's see, video, dam leak washout. What we will see, let's see, can we see it? Videos. That's not going to be it. I'll find a graphic and share it with you guys later. But just imagine a small pinhole leak coming through the edge of a dam, right? breaking through that wall. There's a little leak. As the water rushes through, it erodes the area around it. In this case, it would be the psychological cognitive dissonance a lot of people still in the world have. And their buddies buy, and their other buddies. And this one guy they hate now is super wealthy. And people are starting to see, and institutions and the corporations and all the things right now setting up for that flood of capital. And I'm only talking about the ultra wealthy, not even accounting for the trillions of dollars that are out there in the retail hands as well. Things are setting up for such a bullish future. We need to stop being worried about the consolidation that we're seeing sideways at the moment. GD says, please review FJB Solana meme coin. It'll be big. I'll take a look at that. I don't tend to look at meme coins, but we can do that because, yeah, super chatted. When people do super chat, I do want to make sure that we highlight their question, and also, they're helping participate and help keep the channel alive as well. So thank you for the super chat. But looking here, we see Bitcoin setup is here. All these other things we're talking about, we can see there's $9.26 billion worth of shorts that will get liquidated when Bitcoin hits a new all-time high. So the area between the price level that we're in now and we go all the way up into the new all-time high, that's when we see, this is what he's talking about. The new all-time high will basically be breaking through all of this liquidity here, all of this. All these dark areas means there's not much liquidity at those zones. In this zones, this suggests that as this price action moves to the downside, these people are taking shorts, taking shorts, taking shorts, taking shorts, and you get the stacking up of free liquidity in here. Now, why would there be liquidity above if people are shorting? Because if you're shorting, typically most people are doing it on derivatives, right? You have $5, but you want to take a trade that's worth $50. You can basically take a 10x short, and by doing that same thing, 5 million, 10x, 50 million, etc. Now you can make a lot of money on the way down if that plays out and you take profits. However, every exponent you go up, 1x, 2x, 3x, 5x, 10x, 30x, essentially you have a liquidation point that gets closer and closer to that point of entry. And if price action goes the opposite direction from the trade that you're taking, and for instance, we see like this, people took longs. So there's all these liquidation zone that's below us. As price moves down into the zone, it's clearing out those longs. It's free liquidity because these longs are forced to close the longs. Similarly, look, comes down, closes more longs, closes more longs. Now, we do have this little heat zone directly below us. However, the majority of the liquidity is above us. Price action tends to move more towards liquidity than not. So we need to understand about that. See, somebody gave me a thumbs down. I appreciate you so much. Big love to you. Question is, has everybody done this? Close this poll. My mouse is locked up here. Let's see. Boo. In poll. There we go. By the way, make sure if you guys are enjoying this kind of content, you want to get involved in our community. We have that deal is still going on, lab.bitlabacademy.com/deal. Go and check it out. Get in there. You get 15 days free and 33% off for the life of your account there. You can upgrade also if you want to. That's for the Discord. You can also upgrade and get access to the indicators that we use there, BitLab Trading Stack, the volume, the intelligence, and the trend fuel. But so get in there, take that opportunity while you still can. Now, looking at what's going on right in here, we see this liquidity above us. We see this liquidity below us, and we can see this. By the way, shout out to High Block Capital. They upgraded all of their stuff here, much cleaner, a lot more data, easier to pull the data out of it. But we can see this same thing, windshield wiper up, down. We're seeing a little bit of a stalemate right now with also a little bit of a head and shoulders right in here. Is there an indication that we may get one more sweep to the downside into this, 64.2 area, 60, this sort of zone right in here. This you can see on the price level. We do have liquidity below us still, but we're getting this huge delta to the downside. We saw when this got very deep, I don't know if you could see it. Let me zoom up. You can't see it, man. I don't know if but this is very deep. I can't zoom in on it. I this new setup is jacking with me. Very big delta right in here. And what do we see? Price moves up. What do we see? The price is coming down. We got a bit of a flat delta here, but it is negative still. So this is indicating that at some point we're going to have to reverse and flush out some of those shorts that are coming in. So if we whether it's right here now or if we dip down here, we are set up on a bullish posture for the majority of all the data signals we're seeing. That does not mean we cannot wash a little bit more people out to the downside. And so we can see this right here from TED Talks Macro. This is beautiful. I had not seen this chart before. I had to share it with you. The correlation between Bitcoin price and the Fed liquidity never ceases to amaze me. Liquidity bottoms in the coming 10 days, then rips higher again. Get ready. Look at this. Fed liquidity and Bitcoin price. Look at this. I mean, up, Bitcoin's up, down, Bitcoin's down, up, Bitcoin's up, down, Bitcoin's down. It's like the fuel for the asset really has a huge impact on the directionality of what's happening in the market. So basically at the end of this month, Q2 is over. We go into Q3 and we just got some of that incredible news with the SEC and also with all these the ETFs and the dual ETF and the listing of ETFs and the access points. I could not be more bullish right now. So we got a couple more things and we're diving into it. ETH is holding up pretty strongly against Bitcoin. This is what people have been waiting on. Price action looks congested and ready to break above the pattern. ETH can pull altcoins with it and they can recover fast. Excuse me. But we're seeing this. This is the ETH to Bitcoin chart. This is suggesting as this moves, why you look at this, for those that don't know, the reason we look at this is because as this moves to the downside, this is suggesting that Bitcoin is holding better value against ETH. ETH is losing its value against Bitcoin. So if this does break out, this is suggesting that Ethereum is starting to eat up some of that ground of the value of Bitcoin. So for instance, if you're holding one Bitcoin worth of ETH, so $65,000 worth of ETH, whatever, right here, and as the price falls on this chart, then down here, I'm not going to do the math, but down here, you might only, even though you hold the same amount of ETH, it might only be worth, let's say 0.75 or 0.6, or so on and so forth. So when this does move up, it's showing that not only ETH, but likely the altcoins will also be moving up in their value against Bitcoin as well. So if you're holding altcoins, it's that part in the market where the altcoins start to pump very hard, the Bitcoin dominance starts to fall, and that means that the value of your altcoins as measured in Bitcoin starts to increase over time. That is what we're trying to look for, really. Shout out to Deucey Does Crypto. Longtime friend and viewer of the channel. Big love to you. So let's go ahead and move on. We got Sufficient Enough, $4.99 super chat said, could you do some TA on AIOZ network and Enzyme later in the show, please? Absolutely, my good friend. I love that I can see all the I don't know if you guys noticed, I can see with my new setup all your comments. I can see every super chat. I mean, this is about us, right? Together. It's not me just talking at you. I want to give you guys what you need. So now I can actually, when you do super chat or ask questions, or I'm basically, and I can pull y'all's stuff right in here. Alex, the G or OG, should I say, much love. See, I can bring you guys into the show. So I want you guys to engage more because I'm reading it more. Let's go. Make sure you're giving me a follow here at Kelly Kellam. We're going to jump into the TA here now at KELOY, KELLAM. Remember, I point this out because there's so many fake profiles out there of all of us content creators. And make sure you're following BitLab Academy as well at Academy BitLab, as you can see right here. Now let's jump into it. Before we do that, make sure you head over to getarculus.com to make sure that you can protect your crypto and all your time and hard labor in this market and riding these emotions and taking the plunge, buying crypto. Protect it. Protect your crypto. Protect your future with the best crypto cold storage solution out there. One tap. Keep all your keys off your phone. but also have the benefit of 3-factor authentication on there. It's my favorite crypto cold storage solution out there. GetArculus.com. Use code LAB10. That's LAB10, all one word. LAB10 for 10% off. And with that, let's dive into it. Okay, we are still sitting well above this very bullish cloud of the of the 200-day 200-day moving average, the 21-week moving average, and the short-term holder cost basis. Very strong bullish trends when we are above this. And look, bouncing. We are testing that short-term holder cost basis almost about right now. So we need to pay attention to that. Similarly, oh my God, the capital's coming out of this market. What has it done previously? What has it done in previous cycles? Came out. So this is the bottom here. So let's say right about the halving here. Look at this. It comes back and tests this multiple times. This is the amount of capital flowing into Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is important for us to pay attention to, even if you're holding primarily alts. This is telling you risk coming into crypto or risk going out with a direct vote based on people's dollars. Is it going into crypto? Is it coming out? In this case, Bitcoin. So what I'm going to expect is see how this pushes up small, and then you have a larger increase, then you have a larger increase, then you have the largest. Well, we're kind of starting that right now. We kind of pull back in this region here. We're looking for that next huge capital flow to the upside. We are getting ready. We are getting set. We are getting ready to go. David Lee Luthon said, I am present. Let's go. Thanks for the Galactics giveaway to the live blackjack. Has been fun. Shout out. I'm happy that you've been, everybody, again, special shout out to Galactics. The link is down in the description. They have everything from RPG style quests that you can go through and it takes RPG elements, role-playing game elements, and imbues it into crypto gaming and all this, from slot things to card games to, there's so much in there, and you actually participate. It's very early in its ecosystem. The more you participate, you're actually part of the mining of that token, and you also get dividend payouts based on how much GLX token you hold on in your wallet there. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So we talked about the total 3. We talked about Bitcoin. We're really watching this zone right here. If we lose this, the next level I'm watching is 61,000 I'm talking about like a kind of a scary move, because this would also be below the short-term holder cost basis. Down here, $61,600, $62,000. I could see a washout happening because of this structure here. We also have negative money flow. That's a 2-hour. But if we look at this, we see the money flow on the 8-hour flipped bearish. We're kind of struggling for the stochastics to get up. We'd really like to hold the stochastics on this particular line here. In this case, look, if this is a low and we start breaking up, that's going to be very bullish, very bullish. And look at this move right here on the BitLab trading stack here on the BitLab Trend Fuel, the momentum wave up, next one up. Look at this, a high, higher high. Here we got a high and a lower high, showing that very obvious bearish divergence coming into the zone, giving us signal. And then look at this. So RSI is already moving down into this. The VWAP's moving down as well. And we see this break to the downside. If we can hold this, this would be ultimately the most bullish. Holding basically above this $64,000 mark, testing back up in here, maybe another small move down, and then breakout. But remember, I do expect potentially next week we could probably see some very nice, if we hold this region, I think we could see some bullish price action next week and test this upper bound again. But we still have all the way until, where's July 1st? The end of the quarter is 34 bars or 11 days from now. So let's see what happens in this next 11 days. I imagine we likely could push up. And some people, as silly as it is, you can check out what the phases of the moon are here. We're seeing upward price action. We had downward there, but look at how many upward price actions we've had on full moons. Boom, 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 boom. So if this is the case and we are able to hold in this region, again, I do not trade on the moon cycle, but I'm aware of it when it's having a pretty consistent hit rate. If we do get this next moon cycle, which is going to be very soon, I think it's 2 days from now, and we get all these other bullish things coming in, and we see this, that sort of mentality in the world getting a little, get a little frisky, get that bullish push up. If we could take this out, we're next level up we're watching is 74, really $75,000. And then the breakout of this inverted head and shoulders up here at that 91 to 93 level. So let's go ahead and delete that. Now let's look at Ethereum. There's something I want to point out here. Let's actually go to a fresh chart. ETH, USD. Let's go to Bitstamp. There we go. So there's something I want to point out here. We have this zone right here. Just the most recent pattern. What do we see there? We see a broadening wedge. You can do it from that wick, or you can actually do it. Let's do it from this candlestick to that. So boom, boom, boom. We have a broadening wedge there. And this would actually be angled This would actually be angled slightly to the downside, which would make this a more bullish pattern than not. The problem with broadening wedges, meaning see how this is getting wider apart, like an alligator's mouth opening? This can go on for some time. However, with the news we just got, and this being a more bullish pattern, and this also looking like, look at this W pattern, and now it's a triple. 1, 2, 3. We have a triple. If we can take out this $3,600 mark, I think we're going to be moving pretty quickly up here to $3,800. That's what I'm seeing on Ethereum right now. Coming back over to the chart we just had, and look at this. This would be this $3,800. Also, we have this rising level of support that is now going to be resistance. So if price action does break out of here and push up in here, this $3,800, look, we do have that zone right there where all of this price action right here was chopping. I think this is going to be a little bit of a sticking point, but let's tackle breaking out. Let's tackle breaking out of this rising level of resistance directly overhead right now. As it stands right now, there is some weakness coming in. I do expect we'll have some chop throughout the rest of this week, maybe even into the weekend. But I think by the end of this month that we should be pushing back up into that zone. Now, you wanted AIOZ. AIOZ. Shout out to Sufficient.enough. Big love to you. Sack Nasty. Nice to see you. Yeah. Bark at the Moon. Aussie Classic I cover. Yeah. Yeah. Love Ozzy Osbourne. Back in the day right there. AIOZ. How many of you out there hold AIOZ? Let's go ahead and get this. Boom. Okay, this is looking like it wanted to just wash some people out. Look at this. Head and shoulders. This was telling you. Kind of double shoulder, head, double shoulder. Broke down, okay? Then we push up, and we still get this, look, double top here with the roundingness. And then we also see right here, on the BitLab trend fuel, momentum, bearish divergence coming into this. And we could not take out this previous high. This was showing us weakness. Sometimes we get too blinded by our bias. We don't look at the data that's in front of us. We don't look at the data that's in front of us because we want it to go up. So we're like, no, it's going to go up. I'm not immune to that. I do that sometimes. So we got a bit of a channel here. Got a bit of a channel there. Okay. Where's my dot? There we go. Got a bit of a channel. It's kind of coming down on the low side of this right now. We are on the 8-hour massive outflows on money. But look at this. We have bullish divergence. We have bullish divergence, and yet the price still dropped. However, even though it dropped, look at this. We have another bullish, technically, we have another bullish divergence right here. See this right here? You can't, the line's not drawn, but this is why you need, not everything can ever be, everything can't always be automated in there. You got to be able to read the charts. We see this low and this low is lower on the price action, yet the momentum is higher. We had two bullish divergences in the row. Let's go ahead and look at the bit. Ooh, there we go. Double click on this, put it back to auto. Now zoom this out. Let's look at this. So looking at the BitLab intelligence, part of the BitLab trading stack, look at this. It rolls all the way down. And we've got a bullish signal right here, right on the stopping volume, right on a trend, basically a trend line right here. And we are contending right now with trying to fight through, trying to get through this dynamic resistance zone that is printed here on the dynamic intelligence right here. Sorry, the BitLab intelligence. And we have the weekly VWAP, which is my favorite signal on this chart because it lets you know, are you in a bullish or bearish posture? So even though we're on the 8-hour candles, we're looking at the weekly VWAP, and we can see that the weekly VWAP, look, we came up, got rejected at it. If we can hold here on this, maybe even bounce down here, I'd really like to hold 45.52, 45, basically 45 cents if this does pull back. But if this can stay right here, this is negative money flow. However, this momentum is rolling over. We're seeing the stochastics start angling to the upside. The RSI basically trying to set a higher low. This has the data points to suggest that it may try to hold this level and then push through this. We'd like to see the price action push through these two levels and come up and then come back, find support, and then move to the upside. You have to let these things sort of develop. But we are seeing on the money flow, this money flow is rounding. This is much too light of a crayon or whatever you want, a paintbrush. There we go. There we go. We see this rounding. It's the start of something, but it's not yet established. So let's let this break through this zone, which is also going to contend with this previous range low right in here. We got some work to do on this, but ultimately, if we zoom in on this, zoom in. See this? Push up, have the channel. Push up, have the channel. Things are not looking so bad. I don't even know what FJB is on Solana. Let's go ahead and see if we can pull it up on DEX Tools. I'm going to show you guys a pretty cool trick here on DEX Tools. If we just looking at Shubaduki, I just want to show something to you guys. If you don't know, we're going to look at FJB in a second. Shubaduki, Josh and them, they burned $50,000 worth of Shubaduki, and this is a very small market cap, so that's a huge amount of money. Because, for instance, if this was a $70 million market cap, that 50,000, the amount of tokens in that 50,000 would be, 10x from that. That would be like a $500,000 burn. If it was higher than that, then etc. So this early in the ecosystem, burning that is phenomenal. We can see, look at this inverted head and shoulders here. And this is what I want to show you. You see this person right here. There's some big player out there buying huge buys. If you click this little maker signal right here, it'll show you every place that they bought and sold. Okay, not this. This is not the one. There's another person. He must have got a new wallet. Let's scroll back. You're going to see this. This is crazy. There's a big player out there that has been dry. Ooh, is this only one? Ooh, look at that. $10,000 worth. Let's scroll back. I had it pulled up a few minutes ago. We got to zoom down into. There's a guy that's buying all these 4,000 and selling like massively. There's a big player. Is this it right here? Look at this. All these buys, and this is only one of them. There's a couple other players out there, but I do know that I believe some of the other major meme coin players are going to be getting involved with Shubaduki as well. So that should be pretty good for the price action here. What is FJB? Let's look at, I don't even know what this is. FJB Solana. Is it, let's go. Okay. I see you. Is this the one? There's a lot. You got to let me know which one it is on Solana. So there's two of them. So I'm guessing it is, this is, the liquidity is terrible. 13,000, 5,000. I wouldn't even think about getting in something like that. So you'd have to let me know. But for instance, let's look at this one. You guys, everybody needs to know this. If you're, for instance, on this Sol, you want to look at this data. Look at this. Fully diluted value, $21,000. Market cap, $21,000. This is not something I would get involved with at all unless I was going to put like $6 in, right? And look at this chart. Just not doing anything. I do believe that this is likely to pump if, bad news comes out. But we just saw there's quite a few different FJBs out there, so you need to pay attention to that. David Lee Luthon said bump. Let's do bump. Bump. Boom, 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 boom. Look at that chart. Nice move up. This is getting to the size. Look, it's a fairly small market cap, but I do believe there's some major players getting involved with this one as well, is word on the street. And we do see that this had a bit of a falling wedge. See this falling wedge? And it kind of is flatlined here with buyers kind of defending a level. The sells are not really able to get it down, but we can also see the liquidity's just a touch deeper. I'd like to see a lot more liquidity on that. You know, it's something I own a little bit of bump just to have fun. P9 says, why all the meme coins? Because people are asking for it, man. I stream 5-6 days a week and do Bitcoin, Ethereum, top alts, etc. But people super chatted for this, and you know, I'm just trying to show some love. Let's head back over here. What we see right here, breaking news. Jupiter is going to burn 30% of supply. Just announced on Jupe live stream. That's going to be massive for Jupiter. I don't know when, but 30% burn, baby. Let's go ahead and look at Jupiter. Jupiter is a great DEX. Where is my thing? Let's go to Jupiter USDT. Let's go to 24-minute. Double click here. All right. So look at this. This is within this is starting to get that move, and realize. Look at this move. Look at how from here down, that is a 61% drop. So even going back up into this level, that's 70% move just to get back to this range high, 82% move, 158% move to get back to this high back here in March and April of this year. So that, you know, that's going to be probably pretty good. Get them back out in there. And speaking of DEXs, just special shout out here, YouTube. I did a video yesterday. Everybody get out there, watch it. I did a video yesterday, this microcap to watch. I did a little bit of a deep dive on HDX, Hydra DEX, Hydra DX, which is now called Hydration. And it is awesome. I'm just going to show you this real quick before we go. Super low market cap. Hydra, there we go. No, that's not it. app.hydration.net, I think it was. Yeah, here we go. This is a DEX on Polkadot that instead of having independent liquidity pools for each asset pair, which is how DEXs work typically, AMM model, this has an entire liquidity pool that every asset in the DEX can utilize. So they have what's called an omni pool that shares liquidity between the two. So if it's a brand new coin or not, a large coin or not, you have the depth of a big liquidity pool so you don't get massive slippage, which is awesome. So make sure you head over to, then that's in the Polkadot ecosystem. Polkadot's doing some amazing things, in their ecosystem. And I had to do a little bit of a deep dive on that. So check that out. It's on this, basically, if you click on videos, it's the last video right there. Check it out. And, you know, as I mentioned in that video, if you're trying to find gems, you come here and look at this Hydra DX, which is a hydration. This is number 5,000 on CoinMarketCap. And the market cap, it's only $49 million. So it's actually, this is going to be, I think, jumping up very quickly as people become more aware of it. Newer decks out there. So take a look at that. Everybody, I love you. I appreciate you. I want every single one of you. I love every single one of you. Let's head over to the DGen Alpha stream right now. Show some love to Taco. He breaks down a lot more on the DGen side of stuff. DGen Alpha right here. I'm going to drop a link in there. But if you just stay on this channel, it will basically just send you right over there. So that is this link right here. Where are we at? Live DGen Alpha. Boom. Right here. Head over to this right now and we will see you there. Big love to each and every one of you. That's all I got. Adios, muchachos. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in.